Let us see. Okay. Are we live on Rumble or not yet? We should be. Sometime it take a few minutes or a minute or two to be a Rumble live. Let us see. Well, until now, it doesn't show for me that I'm live there. All right. No Rumble yet. Yeah, Rumble is not the best program. Anyway, it's working now. We are live now. All right, people of Rumble. Hello, hello. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Well, in the morning today, we play a part of the video of this potato ketchup boy, Uthman. You know, we're not playing his video to refute him. This guy is not even worth anything. But just to show you how the Muhammadan, how they can fool you and how they can try to fool Christians. You see, the issue with Muslims or Muhammadan religion, they have zero decency. When you debate with somebody about his belief, he will say to you, hey, this is my belief. Muslim didn't do that. Muslim, they deny everything about their religion as long it sounds negative. In the same time, they lie about your belief. And they play the game of, it doesn't say that. So in the morning, we showed you in the beginning how this Christian gentleman, he was reading to Uthman the book of John, and he said to him, well, it says there that Jesus is the word of God. Uthman said to him, you are assuming it says that.
So this is referring to Jesus. Then it gets into but let me.
Again, he's not letting him get away with it. I mean, think about that. That is a major claim to say Jesus is God or Jesus claimed to be God. That is major. If you are going to build your entire belief system, you are going to invest your entire worldview, the way that you live this life, what you believe about the hereafter. You can see he's saying, oh, it alluded to this, and he's coming to assumptions. Whereas look at the Quran. Throughout the Quran, it is so clear. Tawheed. There's nothing worthy of worship.
Yeah, it's so clear, and we showed you in the morning that in fact the Muslims don't believe in Tawheed. That's a big fat lie. The Quran clearly say Allah is the best of the creators, and we showed you the story. You can watch the previous video about how a man who was a scribe of Muhammad, and he was a Christian who converted to Islam. He is the one who said and made this sentence, and Muhammad, the fraud, he told him to add to the Quran. The guy, when he heard Muhammad saying that, he said, well, if Muhammad is a prophet, that means I'm a prophet too, because I am inspired and I am the one who said that first. Muhammad told him, well, it's coming to you, it came to you as it came to me. But Muhammad, he just heard him saying that. And then this person, he left Islam and he became a Christian again. And then Muhammad, he commanded to kill him wherever they can find him. And then when Muhammad became victorious, this man, he begged for forgiveness. And the Muslim, they confirm his story. That even when he died, each time they bury him, his body, the ground reject him because he made a great sin. Because he is the one who exposed Muhammad. So when those Abdul speak about Tawheed, it's very funny. Same time, there is people who they worship Satan, and they are extremely monotheist. What that mean? So the Muslim, he think when he say he believe in Tawheed, which mean monotheism. And by the way, the word Tawheed is a stupid word. First, we cannot find it in the Quran. Secondly, Tawheed mean unification, does not mean monotheist. Tawheed is coming from the word echad, is a unity. So if it is a monotheist, it's going to be a unity of monotheism, which means the same as a Christianity. If Muslims believe in monotheism, then they should not use the word Tawheed. Tawheed means unification. So this Uthman, he said to him, don't assume that. This is an assumption.
Except Allah. It's mentioned over and over again, the entire Quran. It's telling you this. When Allah sends us guidance, it's not ambiguous. It's not something.
It's not ambiguous. But isn't it the Quran says his guidance is ambiguous? Just to show you how they lie in every word they say. Never talk or take knowledge about Islam from a Muslim. They are liars like their prophet. Not ambiguous. Did he say that? This is how Allah described the Quran. That some of it is basic, fundamental, of established meaning. They are the foundation of the book. And those are ambiguous. And no one knows what the meaning of those ambiguous save Allah. Do you see it? It's just a stupid false cult. They say things, they cannot prove it. And this is why they avoid coming here and debate us. Let us continue with this potato.
You have to assume and guess about. It's clear. It's
absolutely, it's clear. This is why Allah Himself, He say, if we want to take a partner, we will take it from us. Allah will take a partner from us. It's clear.
Obvious. It's eloquent, and that's what we see in the Quran.
And this is why a Jewish man, he taught Muhammad, and he schooled him about Tawheed. This is Muhammad, was schooled by a Jew. He told him, you are a kafir, you are a mushrik. In Arabic it says it clearly. He said to him, innakum tushrikun, you are mushrikeen, Muhammad. You, the Muslims, all of you are polytheist, you are not monotheist. And he taught Muhammad how to speak. He said to him, you don't say that, you idiot. And Muhammad, since then, he told the Muslim to say as the Jewish guy say. And this story here alone is enough to prove Muhammad to be a fraud, because this should be said to him by Allah, not by a Jew. And as long as Muhammad he agreed with this Jew, and he commanded his followers to say as the Jews say, otherwise they are associating other with him, which means with God. Do you see it? Muhammad he agreed that the Jew is right, and he told the Muslims, let us not to do that again. How Muhammad is a prophet of God, yet the one who is schooling him about the monotheism is a Jew. And as you see, this is a very sahih hadith, authentic. We continue. We are just giving you a summary of the previous video in the morning.
Preserved speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah, exactly. Preserved. This is why the goat ate it. I mean, each time the Muslim, they say something, I have to stop with it. And then we find that just to expose it, I mean, they throw words to you. Preserved. Preserved. Yeah. And the goat ate it. And then we ask the Muslims, where is the Quran of Muhammad? Here we go. Abdullah ibn Sarah was writing Quran in the time of Muhammad. Where we can find the Quran of Muhammad? As you see here, there's verses and chapter were eaten by the goat. In fact, Umar al-Khattab, he said, according to him, more than 80 to 90% of the Quran is gone. Is gone. And we can show the reference. Aisha, she said that the chapter of Al-Ahzab used to be equal to the chapter of the cow. If we go right now to the chapter of the cow, funny names, huh? The zoo of Muhammad. if you go to the chapter of the cow, you will find that this chapter is the biggest in the Quran. Look how big it is. I'm just going down to the way to the end. And now you will see the number. Look at the number. How big this chapter is? 286 verses. So when Aisha, she said, the chapter of Al-Baqarah used to be equal to the chapter of Al-Ahzab. Let us see how many verses Al-Ahzab is. Look at this. Al-Ahzab is 73 verses. How many? 73 verses. Okay. The preserved book of Allah, 286 minus 73, 213 verses missing in one chapter. Just one. And let us show you the reference. Preserved, brother. Preserved. It is preserved, brother. Let us see. In fact, there is some reference says even the chapter of Al-Ahzab was even way longer than the Baqarah, the cow. Let us see. I have many references in front of me. I'm just trying to find something official. And here we go. Let me share with you the reference. We post it in Ramble. We are not in YouTube today because we are playing the video of this guy, and those potatoes, they will flag me for copyright if I use it in YouTube. So we are just in Ramble and Discord. This is the reference. Open it and let me show you how we expose the liars. Please save it. This is the book of Musnad Ahmad. Hadith number 21597. Ibn Abi Ka'b asked, how many it was, or you read the chapter of Al-Ahzab? He said, 70 something. He said, well, you know what? I did read it with the Messenger of Allah. It was in the size of the cow and it even bigger. And in it was the chapter of the stoning to death. Let's translate the page. Do you see it? It was like the cow or even more than it. So the chapter of Al-Ahzab, which now is 73, it was more longer than the cow, which means it was more than 286 verses. So if we compare between what the Muslim have today in the chapter of Al-Ahzab and chapter of the cow, we will find that there's 213 verses is gone at least. This is just in one chapter. And yet the Muhammadan, they keep lying to you, saying that the Quran is preserved. You know, the cow chapter is half of the Quran. Al-Ahzab was bigger. And notice here, we don't make speeches like those Muslim Quran preserve and etc. You know, talk is cheap. Here we give reference from their books. Are you with me? Here we don't give speeches like those potatoes. Here we give a proof of whatever we say. If a Christian prince saying to you, well, it was like this, or maybe Christian prince is not telling the truth, but this is their books. This is their scholars. And this is their hadith, and this is sahih. Let us continue with this liar. Preserved Quran. Yeah, right.
Try to understand.
The context, you have to get the context.
Sure, I got the context, but I just want to ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're a biblical scholar, I can see you well read.
I'm
No,
He's a biblical scholar, really. You know, Uthman, he tried to make his opponent a scholar, so supposedly he's a scholar too, you know. The guy just in the street, so
I see you as well read in the Bible. So, first thing is, before we discuss what this says, I'd like to know who was John, who wrote this, not John the Apostle.
John the Baptist was different than John. John was a disciple of Christ. He was one of the.
If you, since you're a researcher, right, and you're well read, I have done some research on my own, and I'd love for you to research. From what I read, the chapter John was not written by John the disciple. This was written around 70 years after the time of Jesus.
guys, look at this. It's written 70 years. He made the number 70. 70 years after Jesus. So the Muslim, they take a man, his name is Muhammad, who wrote about Jesus 600 years after Jesus. He never met Jesus. Let us first see who is John, you know. Let us say, for the sake of argument, it was 60 years, 70 years. So John, he met Jesus, and before he died, he is now a grown old man. He wrote the Gospel of John. What is the problem? The problem the Muslims is they don't accept someone who wrote the book 60 or 70 years after Jesus, as he claimed, but they accept Muhammad, who never met Jesus, never saw Jesus, never spoke the language of Jesus. He don't even know the name of Jesus. He cannot even say the name of Jesus correctly. 600 years after is okay. Let us know who is John, and then if we go in the stupid Muslim books, we will see that Muhammad, he is quoting the same verses from John. So if this is wrong, why John why Muhammad quoting John? And let me show you how we get this Abdul more busted. This is the book of the devil, Muhammad himself, saying, I will type the word Musaddiq. That's all. And when they came to them, to the Jews and the Christian, not only the Jews, confirming what is with them. Look like Sheikh Uthman, the son of Mut'ah, he don't confirm what with us, but his book confirm it. Do you see it? The Muslim strategy is to make you suspect who is behind the Bible But as you see, the stupid Quran is confirming what is with us. And this is 600 years after John. So 600 years pass after John, and still Muhammad and his God, fake God, confirming what is with us, not what was with us. Do you see how they lie? Same time, this guy Potato, a Christian guy, he made a challenge. $5,000. Let me find the video. So we laugh. So this guy here, let's see. All right.
मेरा चैलेंज हर मुसलमान के लिए है कि अगर कोई भी उस्मानी कुरान जो
this is not in, this is in Urdu, I guess.
कैश $5,000 और ये मुसलमानों को हम बताना चाहते
Yeah, let me find the original video. So the stupid Uthman, he went and he bought a book. It's called the Book of Uthman, Mus'haf Uthman. And he came to this guy to get him busted. Let us see if we can find it. Hold on. I'm trying to find the original book. I mean the original video. And I cannot find it, but I found the video which is made by what's her name? Hatun. Okay, hold on. Okay. Let us use this one then. We have no choice. Just to show you how stupid this man is, who he claimed to be a sheikh. So the donkey, he went and he bought and he bought a book. It's called the Book of Uthman, and he came challenging. He said, you said $5,000. I want the $5,000. This is the Mus'haf of Uthman. Let us laugh together.
You're a liar. You're not giving the 5,000 because you're a liar.
People will find out.
Look,
This is the Quran.
listen.
Okay, where's
listen,
the money Quran? Where's the money
This is
Quran?
the-
Where's the money Quran?
Mus'haf Uthman.
What is that?
Read.
Okay.
Mus'haf Uthman, read. Mus'haf Uthman, read. And then in the same stupid book he brought in his hand. Am I heard, guys? Do you hear me? All right. Look how stupid this idiot is. The book in his hand, it says, in his hand, it says, there is no way this book is the book of Uthman. The book he brought by his hand. I mean, this donkey, this is how good he is. And the Muslims, they say, brother, Allahu Akbar. Listen to him, brother. Learn how to debate Christians. The book he brought, it says inside the book, this book, it is impossible to believe. It is the book of Uthman. Listen carefully.
You
I
can't
don't
read.
right now. I don't
Okay,
Let me settle my
read. Mus'haf of who? Uthman ibn Affan.
Read. He's reading the cover like the idiot. The Muslims read the cover. They don't read the book.
We'll find out. This is again one of your footnotes. He will be liar. He will be a liar again. This is not
Look
the
at
money
this.
Quran.
Look at this. Look at this. You will see. Mus'haf of Uthman ibn Affan. Mus'haf Uthman scan.
Show me the front page again.
Go for it. Mus'haf attributed to Uthman ibn Affan.
Attribute. I mean, how it is the book of Uthman and it is attributed to Uthman. I mean, do you know even how to read English? But anyway, then the difference between the Christian and the Muslim, that we open the book and read it. The Muslim, they keep the cover only. So then the Christians, they open the book, the same exact book. And what they found? They found that this is a book saying, this is no way is the book of Uthman.
That's number 2. It's 2 volumes. As you can see, title states Al-Musaf Al-Sharif, attribute to Uthman bin Affan, the copy of Al-Masad Al-Husseini in Cairo. So Cairo manuscripts of the Quran, which is attribute to Uthman bin Affan.
It's Affan, not Afran. Anyway.
When you buy books, ideally you want to read them, which I did, and I am heart crushed.
Then we open the book. And what it says in the book? Let us move a little bit.
Okay, this is the book. When you turn page 124, this is what you are going to read. We can guess that it belongs approximately to the end of the 2nd century Hijrah.
To the end of the 2nd century. He was telling the Christian guy the book of John written 60, 70 years after Jesus. And the book he is bringing in his hand, it is written at the end of the 2nd century of Muhammad. That 2nd century of Jesus, remember, after Muhammad.
Or 8th century, and the beginning of 3rd century Hijrah or 9th century. So, according to Muslims,
So this is a collection of many years, not only in a century.
Cairo manuscripts are belong to 8th century or 9th century.
They are not sure, 8 or 9.
Uthman died in 7th century, 656. He compiled the Quran around 652. Of course, that was only page 124. Bring your attention to page 122 here, so that like no one kind of thinks I'm reading from something else. It is all here. Page 122 and 123 reads, our examination of the Musaf of Cairo showed that this was not one of the Musaf of Caliph Uthman. Let me understand that. Sometimes you don't understand, that I'm in one of those moments. Our examination of the Musaf showed that it was not one of the Musaf of Caliph Uthman. Challenge was put. Bring first Quran, Uthmani Quran, from the Qurayshi manuscript 652. Yet, the book which was brought to the park, in the intention, okay, I met with your challenge, that book in itself, in page 122, tells us this is not the Musaf of Uthman. Page 123, last sentence. It is obvious that it's not possible to say that Cairo Musaf was one of the Musafs attributed to the Caliph Uthman.
Mr. Obvious. So it turned to be that the preserved Quran never exists. It turned to be that even the one they print everywhere, it is not, absolutely it cannot. Then we need to ask ourselves, so this is the Quran of who? Do you understand the question? As long as this is not the Quran of Uthman, so this is the Quran of who? Any Muslim can tell us? And as long it is obvious that it is not possible to say that the Cairo Mus'haf was one of the Mus'haf of attribute to Uthman, then this is the Quran of who? Do we have any Muslim? Is he a Muslim? Oh, okay. Let him come.
Hello?
Hello. What do you think about our topic? You are a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about what we are showing on the screen?
I love potatoes. I ain't even gonna lie.
What?
Yeah, I love potatoes.
You love potatoes? Really?
Yeah, they're actually like really good.
Uh-huh. And do you like us making
I just eat them raw.
do you like us making the Quran look like a potato? What is the shape of what is the shape of Allah? The Muslim, they have no shape of Allah. It's like a potato. You know, potato, the unique thing about the potato, it takes the shape of whatever around it. So if there is a rock next to the potato, the potato will hug the rock and will become in the shape like it round itself around the rock. So Allah is like a potato. Your God have a shin, have a hand, have no book, have a stupid messenger, have a false teaching, have a silly prophet, have silly followers. Do we have any Muslims? Any Muhammadan who is reciting the book which nobody knows, it is the book of who? Anyone? So there is no way this is the book of Uthman. No way. I mean, imagine how stupid this Uthman is. He go to challenge the guy and he want $5,000. Guys, we are not in YouTube. We are not in YouTube because we are playing this video. The Muhammadan, they flag our videos for copyright when we use their videos. They do that specifically to me because I heard they're feeling badly. So if you want to watch, you can watch it. You can download it from Ramble. You have another option. Do we have any Muhammadan? Any Muhammadan would like to join us? Mayday. The Quran you have in your hand is the Quran of who? Any Muslim? Anyone? Yeah, in Ramadan they watch a lot of porn. They are fasting. Exactly. You know, I grew up in the Middle East and I know how they fast. We know the scam of fasting. When I was a kid, I used to go to there's a kid, he come to my house, I go to his house. So we go inside the house, we eat cookies, we eat etc. You know, we are kids. And then when we are leaving, he said, wait. He went to the kitchen and the dish is full of salt. And he dip his lips, he opened his lips, first he wet them with his tongue. And then he dip his lips on the salt. I look at him, he looked funny. I thought he's like making a joke or something, you know. I said, you look stupid, what are you doing? You know, and he is not moving his lips, you know, like he dip his lips, you know, and he opened like a duck. I said, what are you doing, you idiot? You look stupid. Hey, no, don't talk, okay. So then, you know, he dusted the salt from his lips. He said, all of us, we do this before we leave the house. I said, why you do that? He said, it's Ramadan. So my dad told me and my mom that before we leave the house, we should do this because that will make our lips look dry as we are fasting. So nobody will know that we are eating and not fasting. Oh, okay. The salt trick. So they leave the salt on their lips for some time, and then the salt will suck the water and will make their lips look dry as it did not drink water for a while. And then I told my mom. And she said, yeah, you know, I know. Don't go again there. I said, why? She said, I don't want to associate with liars. Oh boy. They don't have a book. They don't have religion. They don't have God. They don't know who is their God. They don't know who is Muhammad. And this guy now is asking who is John. And it's written 660 years after Jesus, or 70 years. Who is John? Do we have any Muhammadan here dare to come to the mic? Let me see now if we can go in YouTube. I guess not. If we want to go in YouTube, we have to stop Rumble and go again from zero. Because enough to play his video is not worth it. Do we have any Muhammadan? Who is a brave Muhammadan? He have the courage and the knowledge. Anyone? Nobody? Nobody want to defend what we just showed you? That the chapter of Al-Ahzab used to be equal to the chapter of the cow? Which mean, actually not only equal, it says more. It says this chapter used to be longer. Any Muhammadan? Mayday, mayday. So they go to Christians who do not know much about Islam. You see, when you debate a Muslim, you need to know that debating a Muslim should be done by knowing Islam before knowing the Bible. It's very important for sure to know your Bible. You are a Christian. Otherwise, how you can call yourself a Christian? But it's very important too, when you debate the devil, to know his book. You know, when you go in the army, they have like departments. One of it is called the intelligence. What the intelligence job is to study the enemies, to study their books, to study their culture, to study their history, to study their action, reaction, motivation, disappointment, what can move the nation, what can do the opposite. So in order to fight an enemy, you don't go just to war without knowing who is your enemy. The Muslims, they teach their children since they are really very early age, 7, 8. They teach them hatred and lies against Christianity and Judaism. Christians, they never mention anything about Islam. In fact, most of them, they know nothing about it. And many of them, they don't even know what the Christianity is about. They are just a Christian by name. So when a Muslim, he meet with a Christian, the Muslim is very well prepared with lies, not with the truth, to attack Christianity. The Christian, they have no idea. He knew a few things, like, you know, Aisha, she was 6 years old. That's it. That's what he knew. Muhammad is a pedophile. If he knew. Okay, come to the stage. Let us see your question. No problem. But for some reason, I don't see you in the stage yet. Muhammad is not a prophet, even the Quran. Chapter 29, verse number 27. Well, the only people in the world who do not know what does a prophet mean and what a messenger mean is the Muslim. The Muslims always they say a messenger is not a prophet and a prophet not a messenger. But how you can be a messenger from God, yet you are not a prophet? Because even if an angel, he come to give you news, he is giving you a prophecy from God. The verse you are talking about, which it says that Allah supposedly granted Abraham his seed, and Isaac and Jacob, and he made in his offspring the prophethood. This is another stupid mistake the Quran made, because Muhammad here, he dropped Ishmael, because Ishmael is the eldest in the family. So how come he mentioned Isaac and Jacob? And here, by the way, don't be confused. Some of them might say, how Muhammad is a person who worshipped the moon god, yet he is speaking about Isaac and Jacob and Abraham and Moses. That because Muhammad, when he moved to the city of Yathrib, he tried his best to convince the Jews that he is a person believe in the same God, so they can accept him. Muhammad is a fraud. In front of the pagan Arab like him, he worshipped the 3 daughters of Allah, and this is called satanic verses in the Quran. So he said their intercession is a must. In front of the Jews, he is a person who believe in the God of Moses and he believe in the God of Abraham. In front of the Christians, he believe in Isa and he believe in Mary. She is a virgin. But in reality, Muhammad is nothing like Barack Obama. Barack Obama, he go to Jerusalem, he wear the hat of the Jews. He go to Egypt, he's a Muslim. He go in TV, he's an atheist. So depend he is talking to who. In the front of the atheist, he make fun of the Bible. He go to church, he's a Christian. He go to Jerusalem, he wear the Jews hat. He have interview, he says my Muslim faith. All right. Let us see Kay, what you want to ask. Go ahead, Kay. Where is Kay?
Hello. Hello, Christian Prince.
Hello.
I wanted to ask you, there was one time we had a conversation, you told me about the Quran order, the contradiction, and where the Quran says a way of changing the scripture is taking like the chapters and moving them, and the Quran order, we don't know what it is. They lie about the order. And I wanted to ask you about that Quran verse, which shows it's the contradiction.
I'm not sure what you meant exactly, but I'm guessing you meant the verses about the one who changed location. He's doing corruption, right?
Yeah.
All right. Give me a second. In chapter 4:46 and chapter 5 verse 13 and chapter 5:41, all of those is speaking about changing the location of the words from their location. This is called tahrif. This is corruption. Let us go to chapter 5:13. And those who change words from their right places between two brackets. All right. But by the way, this is false translation, abandon, etc. This is all is a look how long the bracket. All of this is a bracket. So
is it Muslim Khan translation?
Huh? Which one?
Muslim Khan.
This is Hilali Khan. Is that the one you want?
No, because this guy puts brackets on.
You want Khattab? Khattab, a clear Quran. The Muslim, they like Khattab.
Yeah. So we can see their hypocrisy.
All right. Here it says, and you see here it says different thing. It says distorted the word of the scriptures, neglect the portion of what they had been commanded. This is not really what it says. In Arabic it says, يحرفون الكلم عن مواضعه. They change the words from their location. So this is a false translation. This guy, he's trying to give you his own explanation, not a translation. This is big tal. We have cursed them who made their heart and they changed the words of their context. This is false too. مواضعه, موضع in Arabic mean location. Different translation. Qara'i. See here, all of them, look, they pervert words from their meaning. But if you ask the Muslim, they will say to you, no, this is a story about a Jewish guy. He put his finger in the top of a verse. And here you see actually that Muhammad is being stupid, because if somebody put his hand over a verse, that is not changing the location. He did not change it. He just put his finger over it, so supposedly Muhammad cannot see it. And the whole story is very funny to believe, because how the Muslim, they say Muhammad do not know how to write, how to read, and then how Muhammad discovered that this guy is covering the verse, which is even in Hebrew, not even in his language. So Muhammad don't speak Arabic, he don't read Arabic supposedly, and suddenly Muhammad, he is a person who can find out if a Jew, he put his finger over it. All of this is false. If we go back here, let me show you. Chapter 4, verse number 46. This is the same word, just to show you the hypocrisy of the Muslims. يحرفون الكلم عن مواضعه. Exactly the same word. Look what it says here. The Jews are distort words from their proper usage and say that's false translation. Their context, false translation. Muhammad Asad.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Why would anyone become a Muslim when the Quran was written in Arabic, and according to the Quran itself, this was revealed in Arabic so that the Arabs may understand? That's Quran 12:2.
Yeah, this is something to prove that can be Muhammad. If he is a prophet, he can be a prophet only for the Arab, because this is not the only reason to use. You have to use in the other verse where it says, "We never send a messenger except in the tongue of his own people." So you have to connect the two verses, or all this verse, chapter 14.
I got that on my Twitter page.
Chapter 14, verse number 4 says, "We send not a messenger except to teach in the language of his own people, in order to make things clear to them." So the Quran confirms Allah will never, and He never send any messenger, including Muhammad, unless he is the prophet. He is from the people, and he speaks the tongue of the people. So how Muhammad can be a messenger for someone who is from England or Pakistan? Going back to our topic.
Or even Bangladesh.
Any country, doesn't matter. Any country don't speak Arabic.
It's not even that. There's also another contradiction, because in the Quran it tells about the Jews, about how the Jews that don't listen to the prophet, that they're going to go to hell. But the Jews, they speak in Hebrew. All of their scriptures are in Hebrew, especially in Judea. How are they supposed to know Arabic and to follow the Muhammad if Muhammad was sent as a prophet specifically to Arabs? It's a contradiction.
Well, this is not the only problem. I mean, the whole book is messed up. This is the easiest one. But changing the location of words, the Muslim themselves, they agree that the one who changed location of words from verses or book of God, he is doing corruption. Then we will find that the Quran, all of it, is based on this. Every Quran have different order, and even the Muslims in their videos, like there's a video of Uthman Khan. He explained how the Quran is made. So he said the prophet, he never received chapters. He was receiving drops of rain. So when he received a verse, he delivered the verse to the people. He don't say this is chapter cow, this is a chapter, etc. He just say what he just supposedly received. And later when the Muslims, they decide to make a book which is against the will of Allah, because the Quran is confirmed that it is the duty of Allah to collect the Quran and recite the Quran. It's not the duty of the Muslims or the duty of anyone. Inna alayna jam'uhu wa Qur'anahu. So it is Allah who is going to collect the Quran. It is for us, for behold, it is for us, Allah speaking about himself, as usually he's saying us, to gather it, and the Muslim, they put in the heart. That's false. What in the heart? And to cause to be read. When Muhammad died, the caliphate, in the beginning, that companion, they said, why we will do something the Prophet himself did not do. But it was the idea of Uthman to collect the Quran after he noticed how many people who they are the companion of Muhammad, they died, because those people, they keep going in war for the sake of capturing women and money and cattle. So a lot of them, they die, and even their book says that because they are afraid that the Quran is going to be gone. Those who memorize the Quran, they are dying one after one. So who is going to be the one who keep the Quran alive? So they decide to make a book and they call it Mus'haf. And then we have, we don't even have any of those who the Muslim they claim that Uthman he did make. Not only that, the Muslim they agree that Uthman he burned all other Mus'haf, which means there was many Quran and they contradict each other. So Uthman he command to collect all the books and to burn them, and he keep only his book. Yet his book cannot be found. Anything else?
It's funny how hypocritical they are, because they constantly attack Christianity, like unrightfully. And they say that, oh, Christians added 60 years later the Gospel of John, they started making stuff up. Well, even the Quran, the same thing. It didn't happen at first. They didn't write it first. Only after years of supposed recollection, well, it was just lying.
Let us say that John, he wrote, let us say for the sake of argument, John, he wrote the book 60 years after Jesus. Is it possible for John to be alive at that time? Yes. And in the same time, there is no reason for Christians who they paid their life. We know the history of Christianity, how the Roman, they were discriminating them, killing them. And actually, until now, nothing changed. The Christians are the most discriminated people in the world, especially because they are peaceful and they are not violent. So, people don't fear their anger. So, like now in Hollywood, they keep saying making movies, saying the F word to Jesus. But they don't dare to say that to Muhammad. The reason for that, because we are not criminals like the Muslims, and we don't kill them if they do so. The Muslims, they do. So the filthy atheists, they respect the criminals, they don't respect the nice one. It's a fact. In the top of that, why a Christian anyway want to corrupt his book? A Christian who refused to deny Jesus and they throw him to a lion to eat him. Why he want to corrupt the book? Christians who spread around the world, they have no communication with each other. How they can agree to corrupt the book? How a Christian in India, he can agree with someone who live in Greece? How a Christian in Greece can agree with someone who live in Ethiopia or in Egypt? So we will find that all the Christians in their books, which is the collection of the disciples, depend on who is the one who came to them. As an example, Marcos, he went to Egypt. Bombay, I don't know what is the name of the disciple went there. Anyone remind me? He went to India.
Saint Thomas.
Saint Thomas. Yeah. So the disciple, they scattered everywhere, and even in the Muslim books, in the book of Ibn Kathir, is speaking about how the disciple of Jesus, when he commanded him to go and teach and preach the whole world, they said to him, Lord, how we are going to speak languages to people who do not know their language? According to Ibn Kathir, when they woke up in the morning, they found each one of them is speaking different language. And this is about, Ibn Kathir is speaking about here, quoting the Christians, speaking about speaking in tongues. And this is the Muslim version of the story. So they woke up, everyone is speaking in different language. And that, by the way, defeat the claim that Jesus was sent only for the Jews. Because how you say that Jesus made a miracle that his disciple will speak in tongues, yet Jesus was only sent to the Jews. They do not need to speak in tongues. And why even the Quran calling the book of Jesus Injil? Why the Quran is using the Greek word to speak about the gospel? Was Jesus sent to the Greek? We just showed you the verse where supposedly the Quran says, we never send a messenger except to his people, except speaking in his tongue. So why Muhammad or Akan Allah As you see, all those ones in yellow, it keep repeating Injil, 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 Injil. And this is the Greek word. This is the book of John, obviously. Why Allah He chose the book of John to be the Injil? I will tell you why. Simply, the Arab Christians, they use the word Injil not to describe the book of John only, even though it's a Greek word, but it is to describe the 4 Gospels. So Arab Christians, when they say the word Injil, they mean the 4 Gospels of the 4 disciples of Jesus. They don't mean only the book of John. That's what Injil mean. And here you see how Muhammad exposed himself. So he took what the Christians say, naming their books, which is the good news. He took a Greek word to describe the book which Allah He gave to Isa. So if Isa was sent to Israel, how in the world his book is named in Greek language? Do we have any Muhammadan? Any Muhammadan? For those who are in Ramble, I'm going to create a new broadcast, if you don't mind, which means I will end Ramble here, and I will go live again in Ramble and in YouTube this time. Is that okay? Maybe we can get some Abduls from YouTube to join us. You know, we are doing fishing, as you know. So I will be back on Ramble. I will finish this Ramble here, so we can start a new broadcast for Ramble in the same YouTube, not only Ramble. All right? So bear with me. Just come back. I'm not talking to Discord, guys. Stay in Discord. I'm talking to the people in Ramble. So I will finish the broadcast there, so we can go again in Ramble and YouTube this time, because I'm not going to play the video of this guy no more, so they cannot flag me for copyright.